Oh, now look at that. That is our first perennial flowers in the entry. Primrose. They're beautiful, and they'll spread out and be yellow all over. Great. These are annuals. They'll die at the end of the year, but they're good for the summer. But the primrose will come back next spring, and it'll be here every year with yellow on July 4th. You can count on it. That's nice. The annuals serve their purpose, and they look great. Keep them watered. And let's go over to our Reliance peach. Well, we saw the peach tree last month, and this month we have the plaque is added, and there it is. And it's standing, about 2.5 feet high on a granite post, which is a really nice, durable post in loving memory of Paul P. Ladikakos, dedicated by his community garden friends. He dearly loved this beautiful garden. Reliance Dwarf Peach. So now all we're doing is waiting for the go-ahead for the date and time of the memorial for him. And we're just growing by leaps and bounds here at the entry. And we're hoping to get this all done up in perennials so that it comes back every year by itself. And I see they're all added some cute little things. There's a little frog. He's got a lily pad over on the other side. But there's those elephant ears. They're coming around. They'll be here. The peonies are getting huge. That's what they do. I've got a few others I found I'm going to put in. So I'll do. Well, here we are in the spice garden. And here's some of these daisies. They just grow wild, but they're pretty. So we leave them there. And I think I'm going to cut a couple of these because I met an interesting person in our garden club, Randa, and she had her daughter here, and I thought, boy, there's a lot of cute mother-daughter things to do, or mother-son. I remember going gardening with my mother, and what a lot of fun it was. We can thank Jean Michoud for all this sweet basil. It'll grow. And there's oregano. So I want to do some kid things anyway. And be a kid again for a little bit. Right in the front we added the parsley, and of course there's Lynn's gigantic horseradish. It's so big. One day we'll dig it up and then we'll put it in the back where it goes because it's so tall. And here we want to thank Serena Rustin from the Old Orchard Beach Community Food Pantry for helping us with all the weeding. And look at how nice that is. Oh, it's great. It's easy to weed now once it's all done. That's cool. And then Randa brought pots. Look at that pot. Isn't that nice? Because she knows the problem. Well, I pick mint so frequently that I never have a problem with my mint in my garden at home because it gets pulled out fast as it grows. But this is oregano, and it's another one that runs. There's a lot of running plants. And here we're getting some good stuff. We like this one to run because this is small. It's thyme. And when we weed it, pull a little weed out here. But you can see by my hand, it's starting to run and go all around the garden. And this is good because it's like a ground cover, but it's very tasty. And it's used in everything. Cooking meats, soup, salads, everything. Thyme is the greatest. And this is summer savory. And these are celeriac. Not celery, but celeriac. So I'm going to be weeding some of these, but I just want to thank Randa for this pot. And look how she did. She planted that up for us and put that right in there. And that's a great looking pot. Pots are going to be, and of course people bury the pot so you don't see the pot, but underneath, that thing's roots are confined, so that's a lesson to be learned for a lot of people and a lot of stuff. I have all kinds of things that run, and I keep after them so they don't run, but the mint got carried away in this garden, and it should have been in a pot, I admit. I want to say we've got some real talent in our gardens. We have some marvel gardeners. And these roses are kept beautifully done by Pat McCandless, who handled roses in the past. She's had jobs where she worked for people that did roses, and she's learned a lot of things about them. These roses that we have in this garden were donated by Paul Laticakos. Well, if it wasn't for Pat McCandless, we wouldn't have these flowers, because she did a beautiful job pruning, and she's been deadheading to keep the blooms coming. You know, once they make seed, they stop producing. So there's 1, 2, 3, and it's beginning to take my fear out of growing roses that so many of us in Maine have. They all look the same color. I think they're the same rose. But thanks to her, we have all these blooms. Now, this little garden is the work of Jean Michaud, and she's got that cute little pink, looks like a zinnia of sorts, and looks like some sunflowers, and there is nasturtium. It's got a flower on it, and it's coming along, and some things that are climbing, I just bet they're morning glories. And of course, we have our picnic table here, and over on this side are the rocks, and this looks great. These are hostas from her house, from her yard, and this is going to be a perennial garden too, so that and there's some more of those daisies. I'll pick some and show you some things. And I see these around, and I just love them. I think they're so cute. And I'll have to ask her what those are. But she's got daylilies coming, and a bunch more stuff. And here's more daylilies. That'll come back every year. And over on this side, there's hostas. So Jean's work is coming out very good, and there's that pretty hosta. Oh, they look kind of rough now because they were just plopped into the ground, but see this one? That's how they end up. And this, I believe, this is a perennial. I've had these in my garden before, and I forget the name of them right now, but they come in a lot of colors, and they're beautiful. I love that. When they start looking like that, then we got something. Now, here's a garden. It's about plot number 22. It's 3 back. There's the front one, second, third, and last. And one of the people that was here when I was here said, how do they keep all the weeds out? And I said, I don't know, but that looks very good. Look at all that broccoli. If that's what it is, it could be Brussels sprouts. But it is what those groundhogs love to eat. I can tell you that. There's the spinach has gone bolted. Cool. Before I leave the garden, I want to take this. This is a blue rug. I want to take this plant and give it to Harold. It's a little gift. And it's something I'm thinking of. And I don't know what he'll think of it. But as you look at the entryway, here's our entrance. Over here, this is getting to be very difficult to take care of, the weed whacking and the weeds. And we're gardeners, so we know a lot of things about how to control things like that. And here is a ground cover. It never gets tall, and it never needs maintenance. And you plant it, it grows toward the sun, and I'm going to suggest it. I'll give it to Harold and see what he thinks. We'll see what happens. And, of course, I'd like to ask Jay Oliver about that blue rug. If we could plant it over there as just one little plant, let it grow and see if it might be something we can use in the future. This looks like a mint, but it's not. This is lemon balm, and I use it, a big pot of it, because it deters mosquitoes, and I can like that. But I wanted to show propagation for the fact of the kids. And here, Damien, if you can hold that. And here's a mint, and of course everybody knows mint is simple to propagate. Of course, we could dig it up by the root, but for the sake of a kid, if you cut those bottom branches off and you have a node and you stick this in water, then your child can watch roots grow and actually learn how to propagate a plant, just like that in water. And so this is what I'm doing with this lemon balm. It's getting very leggy and growing up out of the pot something bad. So I'm just cutting these all off, and as I cut them, I'm cutting off the bottoms because roots will grow there. And I have a big glass full of them. And propagation, making another plant from one, is a great thing to teach kids. And they can watch the roots grow in a glass right in their room and plant them in a pot and say that they propagated the plant. So here we have a whole glass full. Lemon balm. It'll be at the herb garden soon for your picking. Deters mosquitoes. Very good one. Okay.